Tom Brady recently retired, and everybody is talking about their favorite memories from Tom Brady's career. And when you think of Tom Brady, most people are going to say his 6 Super Bowls and the fantastic run that he had with the New England Patriots, or even his Super Bowl win with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But do you know what I think when I think of Tom Brady and what made him the GOAT? I think about the intangibles. I was listening to former Minnesota Vikings general manager Rick Spielman. He does a podcast on CBS Sports, and he was asked the question, what is one of the most important things that is necessary for a young quarterback becoming successful in the NFL? And he said the most important thing is intangibles. Even if you're the most talented guy, if you don't have good leadership qualities, you don't show up on time, you're not committed, you don't put in the extra work outside of practice, you don't watch film, you're not going to succeed. Tom Brady, not only was he a very great football player, but this dude was very good at being a franchise quarterback. Everything that you wanted from a intangible standpoint out of your franchise quarterback, you received out of Tom Brady. Tom Brady worked super hard, super dedicated. This dude never appeared to practice late, never missed a meeting. He was always prepared. Another thing is that he was consistent. You knew what you were going to get out of Tom Brady week in and week out. You knew that you were going to have somebody who never was going to go into a game not prepared. He always was going to be somebody who was very quick at adjusting on the fly to what defenses were throwing at him. And even if Tom Brady had a not so great performance, you knew that when the game was on the line, with the ball in his hands, with 2 minutes left, Tom Brady was going to deliver more times than not. The small intangibles is something that I think many of us overlook when it comes to these great Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Yes, all of them have their issues. Nobody's perfect, but us as human beings, we're not perfect. We all have mistakes, but there are a lot of things that are necessary for people to be successful, for people to get to the top of their field, their industry, their profession. They have to have certain qualities that separates them from the rest of the bunch. And you know what separated Tom Brady from his peers? People always ask, how was Tom Brady so more successful than Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, quarterbacks that we perceive to be more physically talented than Tom Brady, yet were unable to have success against him when it mattered the most? You want to know why? The difference between Tom Brady and those other quarterbacks was that Tom Brady was just better at the intangibles than those other quarterbacks. What he lacked in talent compared to those quarterbacks, he made up for in the intangibles department. And even though Tom Brady was never the best quarterback at anything, he was top 5 or really good at pretty much everything. Outside of his lack of mobility, there really wasn't anything that Tom Brady couldn't do. When I think of Tom Brady, the first thing that comes to my mind is that this is somebody who was super committed, super dedicated to the game. He was the ultimate team player. Once again, we go back to the intangibles. Let's talk about the guy who was willing to sacrifice not being the highest paid quarterback in the league just to win championships, just to allow the Patriots to have more money to spend to assembling a championship roster. You see, Tom Brady, him being the ultimate team player, is the reason why most fans get super frustrated with their star players when it comes to these contract negotiations, because most fans want their best players who come to the table for new contracts to have the Tom Brady mentality, the team first mentality, which is something that is incredibly rare, and not just the NFL, but in sports in general. You don't find a lot of great players at their position that are willing to take one for the team, that is willing to take less to see the team win. They want to win, but they want to get paid too. They want to get paid and they want to win a lot of championships. And it's just the team's responsibility to find a way to work around them getting paid so much. And yes, it is to a certain extent the team's responsibility to find ways to still be competitive and to find ways to still compete for championships with paying their best players top dollars. But at the same time, though, common sense will tell you that if you are paying your top players less than, normal, you're going to have more money to have better talent at more positions, which is why a lot of young quarterbacks now are making it to the Super Bowl on the rookie deals because their teams have money to allocate to more positions versus just giving the majority of your cap to your quarterback. Quarterbacks take up a large chunk of the majority of the team's cap space. When you look at Tom Brady, him not demanding top dollars from New England was the ultimate sacrifice. And it is a large reason why he ended up winning 6 Super Bowls. Now, in the tail end of his career, New England failed him because they ended up surrounding him with guys who were not that great. End of his career, New England didn't have a true number one receiver. Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay. He gets surrounded with a phenomenal supporting cast, and he wins the Super Bowl. And that goes to another thing, that Tom Brady was always good at seeing things before they happen. And Colin Cowherd said this on his show as well. And that just goes to show you that this guy had a high football IQ. He was always super aware. He always knew what was going to happen before it happened. And the only way you could really stop Tom Brady in the biggest moments was by being able to capitalize when he, on rare occasions, made mistakes. I remember a game when the Patriots were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. I forgot what year it was. But one defensive back for Pittsburgh on the final drive of the game dropped the potential game-sealing interception for Pittsburgh. After that, Tom Brady hit Rock Gronkowski for pretty much every play that drive. New England went down, scored, and won the game. Tom Brady, if you are somebody who wasn't able to make him pay for his mistakes, he was going to beat you. You want to know why? Because this guy always knew what was going on. He always knew what defenses were going to throw at him. He went to Tampa. He was able to make adjustments. People were saying that, well, JT, Tampa Bay isn't going to win the Super Bowl because Tom Brady, with COVID and everything going on, he's not going to have time to get acclimated to his receivers. He's not going to be able to learn the playbook, this and that. And the Buccaneers, even though they struggled out the gate, they ended up becoming really good during the second half of the season, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl in Tom Brady's first year in Tampa. Tom Brady is always good at being able to adapt to change. He was always able to see change, or he was able to know when change needed to occur. Something that Bill Belichick has failed at being able to do is adapt. Bill Belichick is still struggling without Tom Brady. Tom Brady has already proved that he can be successful without Bill. Bill Belichick has yet to prove that he can be successful without Tom. When it comes to who is more responsible for New England's success during their 6 Super Bowls, I would say that it was Tom Brady. Tom Brady was Batman, and Bill Belichick was Robin. Bill Belichick found Tom Brady. He helped put him in position, developed him, but eventually Tom Brady reached the point where he exceeded the master. Tom Brady was the Patriots way. In my opinion, Tom Brady, consistent, great leadership, always showed up to work on time, super dedicated, driven, motivated. Every time Tom Brady has been doubted, what has he always done? Proved us wrong the majority of times. Tom Brady, people had so much faith in him that there were a handful of people who put their hard-earned money betting on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat Dallas only because of Tom Brady. Literally. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys listening to this right now probably have at least one or two friends that you knew who said that. I'm picking with Tampa Bay to beat Dallas because of Tom. There's a reason for that. When you have all these intangibles, you can be trusted. You want to know why people love to play for Tom Brady? Because they know in the biggest moments, he's going to not just elevate his play, but he's going to elevate the whole entire team's play. When Tom Brady walks into a locker room, he just commands a different level of respect without really having to say anything. Because you know what Tom Brady had to endure to get to this point. This dude wasn't just one of your spoiled, blue-collar, rich kids who gets drafted highly and gets just handed things. The dude was overlooked. He went late in the draft. Wasn't even the starting quarterback to start out his career. He had to grind his way to the top. And even then, he was still doubted. People really didn't start giving Tom Brady the credit he deserved until around 2009, 2010. Even when he took the Patriots to the Super Bowl and they lost to Eli Manning and company. Then after that, he had the season-ending injury. He had to come back from that. And then that's really when I feel people really started just to appreciate the greatness of Tom Brady. Even before he got to that sixth Super Bowl, when people started to realize just how good he was, I feel, during the 2010s. Tom Brady, what made him the GOAT, other than the 6 Super Bowls and being one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the game, was the intangibles. The key to being successful at anything in life are the intangibles that you bring to the table. Your work ethic, your preparation, your leadership, your drive. Those are things that Tom Brady had, and I think they're things that are easy to overlook when it comes to talking about what made